you know, that much.
Oh, yeah. Look at these bubbles coming up over here.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Wow. Loaded.
So this pond right here was all mud, yeah, all filled with mud. So one year we had this teacher training we did down here, and so
Get in for the video.
what we did was we throw the teachers inside the mud. We make them dig the mud because that's how you know, yeah, is when you do that. And then here the Uncle Peter was sharing with us. He says, after you clear out the mud, and we still get a little bit more, we gotta clear off the bottom. But he says put a layer of about 6 to 8 inches of about 3/4 inch minus kind ili on the bottom. And the first the first thing I want to do is ask Uncle Peter, why we gotta do that? And his answer to me would be, why you think? So okay, I better not ask that question yet. I better think first, yeah. And then so and the Ike will be revealed to those that I'm not gonna say deserve it, but those that
Can figure it out.
this thing is important, because those are the ones that gonna hang around long enough for see what happened. And then so anyway, so he's telling us put in the layer of ili, and every once in a while you gotta take them out, you gotta dry them, and then you gotta throw them back in again. But so all of a sudden this light came on, and then so we had a bunch of marine biologist students out here, and I asked them, how do we increase the amount of Opae Ula this pond can
Yeah.
sustain?
That's it.
Yeah. And then so they
That's
said,
increasing the surface area, right?
yeah, so they said, oh, easy, broke them. Make the pond bigger. Then you get a bigger pond, you get more surface area, more limu grow, and the more feed for the Opae Ula. And then so I said, yeah, I said, what about putting ili in there? And then you see the battle going on. But if you measure the surface area of each ili and you multiply by the amount of ili in here, this pond becomes a huge pond without having to destroy it. That's Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Yeah, the solution is simple, but yet we usually think the other way. Yeah, we got to destroy in order to create, but they enhance what was there, And so by placing the ili in there, you're creating more surface area, and during certain seasons, a lot of the Opae Ula that have the eggs, and they don't have a whole bunch of eggs, maybe like about 8 or 10 eggs at the most. What they do is I don't see them swimming around in here. So what I think they're doing is they're retreating in the darker, cooler environments to release the eggs, to hanao. And then so by putting the ili in there, you're creating cavities that also support them in their life cycle, And so
Genius.
did that. Then I was asking Uncle Peter, I said, we get plenty of coral chips over here. What if I put one layer of coral chips in there? Then he told me, no more nighttime. So I said, okay, wait, I gotta think about this one. No more nighttime. And then,
Right there.
then after that, yeah, the light came on, and then when we walk around here, we find old trails, yeah, and on the old trails is all lined with coral. You find coral chips along the trail, and that's like the street light. So by putting coral chips in here, when he's saying no more nighttime, we need times of light, we need times of darkness, and it's the moon cycle,
Right.
and the moon cycle is part of their life, the life cycle of the Opae Ula too, when they spawn and when they do different things. So by putting the coral chips in there, we don't have the dark times, because it'll reflect even the starlights, yeah, over
Right,
here.
right.
So he said no more nighttime. It's like he used to just blow me away before, just some of his answers so simple, but yeah, then when you think about it, yeah, it makes sense. So this one here, yeah, I think about after we cleared out most of the mud in here, man, I think like about a couple weeks later, this thing was just starting to turn red already with Opae Ula. So it's really helping to clean out some of the mud that's on the bottom. And then on the exposed surface like that, you see like the algae growing on the rocks like that. And then you see the Opae Ula, feeding on that more, on that kind of limu.
I don't know if this camera is good enough to.
Yeah.
Oh, I can kind of catch them. A lot of reflection though. But... Oh, that's real interesting because it's. I used to do ponds and stuff, yeah. And that was the same idea with the bio balls. They inside the filter, so it's to increase the surface space for the bacteria to grow.
Yeah.
But to know that they had this thinking way back when, and then figure them out themselves is real super interesting.
Yeah, and so this is where like we gotta get down to really the depths of their understanding.
Right.
We're only hitting the surface, yeah.
And like what just is occurring to me now is a lot of times they say, oh, the old timers, they don't like teach. But maybe it's not that they don't like teach. Maybe it's like how you was told some stuff and it was actually, I give you the answer, go figure them out. And they promote critical thinking. I'm not going to just tell you everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little bit, and I like you go figure them out. And do the work.
And the Ike is given to those that need it. That ones that stay in this environment long enough, yeah. The rest of them, all they like is information. For what? You know what I mean? They come and go, yeah. But once here, really the teacher is the Aina, and if you stay here long enough into these places, then she begins to reveal a lot of different things. If you pay attention, like the ponds. The big pond over there, all the limu that's growing in there. What we do is when you look at that pond, you begin to recognize the cycles. And the cycles is like here, during the nighttime and early morning, we have the Keha winds that come down from the mountain, yeah, that blows down. And about 10 o'clock in the morning, like right now we get one storm, so the wind currents are a little bit different. But normally about 10 o'clock, everything is still. That thing stopped. This is a switch that is happening. The mountains, the Aina begins to warm up when the sun comes up, and then so the ocean temperatures are pretty consistent. Yeah, they fluctuate a couple degrees at most.
Right.
But the ocean temperatures are pretty consistent, and so during the nighttime, the Aina is cooler. So the breeze comes down from the Mauka, yeah, and then the oceans are warmer, so the warm air rises, and then it's that convection, yeah, that happens, pulls it down and goes up. But then during the morning time, when the sun begins to warm up the Aina, the opposite happens. The ocean is cooler, and then the Aina is warmer.
Right.
So about 10 o'clock, there is this shift. The wind stops. And then slowly the Eka winds start to come in from the ocean, back up over there. And when you look over here, what happens is all the algae is from that wind is being pushed to the Mauka side of the pond. And then so when you look at the extremes is where you find most of the sediment piling up, but mostly on the Mauka side, because what happens is that the Eka winds start to blow and push the limu all to the Mauka bank, and then the thing deposits, all of the dead algae all over there. So when you clean the pond, you just mainly have to focus on the Mauka side because this cycle happens. And so when the tide is up, you're going in there, you're doing different things. And when you're kicking it up, and when the tide is going back down, what happens is like the vacuum cleaner. So some of the sediment that is suspended in the water column then gets sucked back out
to the
again.
bottom. Right.
you know, it cleans, and then the tide change, the new water comes in, you know, the fresh water again.
And then the
So
cycle.
like Uncle Peter tells us, he said, no, treat this like an aquarium. You got to go in there and, you know, take care of malama and stuff. No think that you're going to disturb the Opae Ula. But, you know, by doing so, when you're working in here, you kicking up the, you know, the sediment that is on the bottom, and then the
So that the cycle can take place.
yeah, you know, just a tidal change.
Or it's more effective at least, yeah.
Cleaning, you know, the ponds out, yeah. So it's really, you know, it's just amazing, you know, that the more you listen, the solutions are real simple, but sometimes we complicate things.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you know.
Yeah. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, so you get two different types of Opae Ula in here. So we have the rubra, which is the smaller Opae Ula that are the herbivores, and then we have a little bit bigger one that was still considered Opae Ula, and that one is the Metabiteus, and that one there is an omnivore. So sometimes when we clean out the pond, the first thing to come back is the Metabiteus, and then you see them swimming around, and they're a little bit more chunky, and they get like small little pinchers on them, and then sometimes you see them swimming around with a worm in the mouth. That they're swimming around like that. But the Metabiteus is the first one to come back, and then later on the, you know, Opae Ula start to come back in this.
Wow, this is completely awesome.